Hey War Barn fans, how you guys doing? Why don't you come in here and take a little look? I'm going to show you what I'm doing. Keep up to speed on my progress on the Commander's Vision port. So here it is. I had to get inside here with a wire wheel. I had to get a Dremel tool to get some of these cracks, but I was able to, one way or another, get all the way in there with sandpaper, get all the nooks and crevices completely clean. There was no rust on there basically, pretty good shape. Primed it, and then I painted it. And this is supposed to be an authentic Panzer gray color, so to speak. So what you can't see here is you can't see the mirror because I got that on the side. So, yeah, very good condition. I got the bolts. They're over at the barn. We'll clean those up at one point. But let's go to the side. Let's take a look over there. So here on the side, this is where this this pivoting, or this roller that's going to have the mirror on there on either side. So there'll be a mirror here. There'll be a mirror on the bottom. It's going to slide through there. The mirror over here will reflect off the one on the bottom. You'll be able to see through, up, and out actually on this side. So through there, up, and out. So what happens in combat, people are trying to shoot your commander, mess up his vision, the glass gets shot. All you gotta do is take this lever, which will attach onto here, flip it, boom. The one on the back is now in the front, and you can instantly regain your vision. So while that's going on, if the one gets shot out, now you got the bad one on the back. That's what this little metal door is for. This will be inside there. You can go ahead and access this one. You can pull it out, slide a new one in there, and then if you need to, flip it again, and you got a new one ready to go. So yeah, this is totally complete. All these little nooks and crevices here. This is that, I call it door access panel. It is spring loaded, so when you're done, you can just let go of it, and it'll go ahead and retract it, clean off this rod here, clean the spring off. Got a little bit of lubrication there. All these screws are clean. And this is the bushing. This is the bushing that'll go on the end of this axle that the mirrors go on. That'll go right on there. And if you can see here up close, the bushing is in fantastic condition. There's no play, there's no nicks on the inside. It's gonna work just as good as new. So that's that. Here is the gradient. So when you're turning this, going up and downhill, which I touched base on the previous video. When you're turning it, if you're going downhill and you want to turn it up, turn it up. If you're, and vice versa. If you're going downhill, you need to turn it, or either way, you have that function, you have that functionality, right? And here is the piece. You just simply click on that. It'll release off of the sprockets. And while we're here, let's just show you how that goes. I still got tape on here, but this is basically right there. So if I want to turn it, release the locking mechanism, and then I could turn this. Lock it, turn it, and that's that. So spring's cleaned over here. On the bottom we have, let's take a look at this. Let's go ahead and slide this down. So here is the bottom piece I showed you in the previous video that simply slides out. Release this little pin, and this is where the bottom mirror will go. It's spring loaded. This spring loaded ball actually fell out, but you see, you just take a screwdriver, unscrew it, push it on there, and put a new one there. So I gotta find a new one for there. So, trying to figure out, doing some research, does the glass have to have some kind of metal frame? And I believe it does. So basically what I'm gonna do on the edges here is go ahead and put some kind of bent piece of sheet metal on either side. Put some kind of indent, so when you're pushing this, it'll snap into place, but as you're pushing it, it's not gonna chip the glass or break the glass on either end. So yeah, you're in combat, somehow some kind of shrapnel bullet goes through, gets to the bottom, release it, snap it out, put the new one in there, and you can see again. Okay, so hey, while we're on this locks into here. This is where the bulletproof glass will be. These are probably just regular, the mirrors are just regular glass, okay? This will be bulletproof. So if something does come through the front, deflects down off that mirror, comes up through you, you got some protection here with bulletproof glass. That'll sit down here. It's a pretty thick, a pretty deep well, because it looks like it's about 3/4 of an inch, between 3/4 of an inch and an inch, okay? So that would be bulletproof glass. That'll sit in there. I can't have that made yet. I gotta find a place that has some kind of pressure, water laser to cut thick glass. But I do actually have, bulletproof glass. And that came from a defunct currency exchange. Place was being torn down. My father was able to get that for me, so I actually have both bulletproof glass. Doesn't really matter. We're not going to be in combat, but it'd be nice to have all the little pieces in place like they originally were. Okay? Something else I was trying to figure out is what does this ball handle thingamajig look like? This is just ad hoc so I could, access it, take it apart. I was going through all my pictures, and I was actually able to finally find a decent picture. So if you can see here, this picture is of the inside of the tank, okay? Inside of the commander's cupola, coming from the bottom. So not a common picture at all, but you can see what I'm talking about there. So this here is that piece I just slid out. This is actually the proper button. It looks similar to the release buttons for the bulletproof glass, okay? It looks like, well, as far as I can tell, I can't see a side view. It's just a lever, kind of like a big tack. But what I think I'm going to do is make it very similar to look like this, because it looks indeed to be the same size. So what also hooks on there is a leather tab. This leather tab is attached to the brow piece. So this is protection for your forehead, your nose. When you're looking through here, the tank's bumping, you don't knock your noggin, your nose, break your teeth or whatever. So you know what, with that being said, why don't we go take another look over at the actual visor, and I'll show you where that'll go. So as you're looking through here, that brow piece is gonna go right around here. And it looks like on top here, there's two holes that I have not found any hardware for. So this must be some kind of a pivoting hinge. That protective brow piece goes on here, some kind of cushioning. Usually back then it was horsehair and then covered with leather. So I'm gonna make it so it can hinge. You can release this, and if need be, take out the armored glass. So that's what will happen. That once again, this will be like a rectangular piece. You'll be able to look through that brow, not hit your head here. You'll hit the brow, and if this glass is damaged, you're going to have to unbutton it from here. Again, this is the piece that'll probably look like this, but it won't pull in and out. It'll button over that flap that attaches to the leather, attaches to the brow piece, and once that's released, you can flip it up, put in a piece of bulletproof glass, and snap it in place. So yeah, so there you go. So that's where we're at. Kind of happy with it. One piece, but one less piece I need to do. So guys, any questions, chime in. I like talking to you. I like some of your questions. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, okay? Anyhow, hit the like button, and we'll see you next time. Thanks again.